Welcome to Dolphins and Garages, your favorite weekly segment where you can finally pull out your closet katanas and fight your fears head on. As a premium source of entertainment and doomsday prepping, we present a scene straight from the weekend ahead of you. Kelton, it's the Thanksgiving table.
Oh God. Okay. All right.
You gaze down as Mariah Carey echoes somewhere in the back rooms.
Oh no.
Much like your mother's cooking, you're staring down at the driest turkey that you think you've seen yet.
Mm, nice.
Uh, there are other traditional sides. However, your attention is arrested. Fear courses through your body as the patriarch of your household, is about to lead everyone in prayer, but for some reason his eyes have rested on you, and the whole table has turned their attention as a question is asked: "Would you like to lead us in prayer?"
Oh no. Uh, um. You know what? I'm gonna roll. Can I
Make
roll?
a charisma saving throw.
Okay. Okay. 3.
Are you about to deny your mother's request? This will have consequences later.
Try. I'll cave to the pressure. I'll try and do like a little like trite, super concise prayer.
Yeah. Make a performance roll.
Oh.
You think you still have your additives to charisma, or have you had too many secret eggnogs?
Oh, and those are long gone at that point. Like I'm like a comatose victim here because I was planning on being in attendance but not present. You know what I mean? Yeah. I rolled a
Physically,
12.
spiritually. Oh, that's not too bad. You only have a -2, so you rolled a 10. You recite something, it sounds like a fucking Hallmark prayer at this point.
Perfect. That's the best I could hope for in this situation.
Yeah, it doesn't mention Jesus in any real capacity. In fact, there are no gods mentioned as you make this prayer. So
no gods, no masters in this prayer. Indeed.
Yeah, you do not look pretty standing up and going about as red as the cranberry sauce, but you have successfully passed. And also, you've successfully passed the mashed potatoes. All the food is going around. The family is breaking up into the rooms that they go into.
You can't say things like that, by the way. You can't be like, the family is breaking up. That's a real life flashback that you're creating. Oh, no, this is just like Thanksgiving 8 years ago. No.
We found the trauma, yes.
Is it because of the green bean casserole not going over as well as I was hoping? Was it me? Am I the problem?
The problem is the casserole. The neighborhood is a casserole of different people, and your family is not having it. The rest of this will essentially be spent in initiative.
Okay.
And you can do several things here. You can make some attacks. You can run. You can also try to enlist the help of others. I don't think there's any spell casting that's going to happen here.
Shit. I'm definitely going to roll attack. Attack seems like the right way to go.
One of your great uncles, one of your dad's, or not your great uncles, one of your dad's brothers.
Okay. The not so great uncles. Got it.
The not so great uncles. Yeah. Starts talking about, wouldn't you guess it, crime statistics.
Oh. If I roll a 13 or higher, is it a problem or a good thing?
If you made your roll, let's make your attack roll against your uncle here.
Shit. 15.
15. It's his AC. His armor class is only going to be about an 8. He has thin fucking skin.
Nice. I ask him like, why Deborah isn't at Thanksgiving this year? Really, Y'all were so cute together. What happened?
Let's make a charisma saving throw for him here. Oh, an 18. He's not been drinking as much as you. He laughs it off. Something about, haha, women are never loyal. That's why I don't keep them around long.
Cool, man.
Your mother tries to pick it up the crime statistics by talking about all the black families moving into the neighborhood.
No, that's cool, Mom. I wonder why they're moving out here. They certainly couldn't be getting priced out, or it couldn't just be the fact that like multiculturalism is inherent to any community whatsoever. I roll a 16.
That definitely is gonna hit. Let's make a wisdom saving throw for your mom. Oh God, I'm rolling good tonight. A 19.
God damn it.
She talks about, oh, they're getting priced out. Whose problem is, isn't Joe Biden supposed to be helping them?
In Texas, everyone knows Joe Biden's influence is so strong in our particular state, Mom. Joe Biden definitely controls everything that happens here. The pricing therein, for sure. Yep.
Your grandma cuts in. It's Joe Biden's fault that all the Democratic judges are letting the criminals go. That's the reason why all the crime is up so much.
Oh, Grandma. Oh, Grandma. 14.
14 does not hit. That
you
is
wily old woman.
She is thicker skin than the rest
armed
of
with
you.
Newsmax and 4chan screenshots.
4chan screenshots that have made it into her Facebook group.
Exactly. It's like a knitting Facebook group too.
Yeah. I'd like you to make a wisdom saving throw to see how quick on your feet you are.
6.
Oh, yeah, no. Grandma goes off into some stuff about some local judge that got into some legal trouble, and really it seems like a lot of work to dig that judge out in particular.
You know what, Grandma? There is a lot of corruption that exists within the system. I think that's something that we should all definitely try to explore. And I think we should try to think about maybe who's controlling these politicians. Follow the money, right? I'm looking around.
Good job. Roll a d6.
2. Okay. Oh, perfect. I missed Christmas, but birthday, nice. Some things take time to heal over. I understand. As long as I'm not out of the will.
Your other uncle, the younger one, he's gonna bring up the local library that has one of them drag queen readings.
Yep. When's the last time you were in a library, Uncle Fred? It's going to be my question. You rented a goddamn book. Why are you so invested in this? 12. Yeah.
Nice. Super effective. Again, your uncle's very thin-skinned. He is going to fail on a charisma saving throw.
Nice.
And he's gonna sputter for a second about something about teaching kids how kids need to, kids shouldn't be taught by freaks. but the room kind of goes silent as he says freaks, so it really does not land very well. Like all the conversations around somehow died down at the same time.
Yeah, Grandma's like, I want to take away all of their rights and treat them as the subhumans I think that they are, but don't call them freaks. Not at the Thanksgiving table. Come on now. Decorum, please.
That's all the I think that's all the fights that you can manage before you have to get up and go back for refills on that plate.
Oh, thank God. I couldn't handle another round of please and thank you internment camps. That was just not.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Yeah. And as you come back, everybody's getting ready for dessert. So it looks like you've battled your way down the entire Thanksgiving table. Both the serving table and the table of relatives.
Perfect. I am once again victorious, able to ruin another holiday for my family. Can I roll to see if I'm going to be invited back next year or wanted back next year?
Here, let's
pick
see.
a difficulty based on how I
if
perform.
you roll a 15 or higher, then there will be no question that you're back. If you roll over a 10, you'll definitely be back, but you will be on lowered status next year.
14.
Ooh, that's so
Yep,
close.
yep. It's lowered. It's lowered. They're like, I don't like how Kelton is changing.
They're not going to add you to the group chat. Your mother's going to text you to
Oh,
tell you when and where.
please, no, don't exclude me from the group chat. Anything but that. How else will I know that your kid got a C in science? Fuck you.
That's why he doesn't know. That's why he wants to go to the drag queen story time
I
because
just
it's an
want to
extra
learn.
credit on his class.
My dad doesn't know shit about algebra. Please help me.
Psychic Dolphin Garage.
Welcome to another episode from the Psychic Dolphin Garage. I'm Zach, he, they.
I'm Kelton, he, him. And
And-
yeah, no, I'm saying it. I'm saying
That's
it this
right. I
time.
know.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah. It's me. It's a happy drinks giving. I'm getting overly defensive and combative because it's the holiday season.
It's perfect. It's the holiday for us. We can be thankful tomorrow. Tonight we wine dine. We wine and dine. WHINE.
Yes, yes. I'm sure that's gotta be like a live, laugh, love style apron shirt. It's like I've had just about enough of your whining. And it's a picture of like, some cartoony blonde that's tipsy. Just like it's so cute and relatable. I love it so much. She's just like me for real. That's probably like what the older generation is like when they see a photo of that, some boomer ass thing.
Oh, damn. We really have gone full circle. She just like me for real is just the r/boomer hentai. Wow.
Thanksgiving is wonderful. I'm glad we get to have this episode happen before Thanksgiving. I'm glad that we get to have it released before Thanksgiving. I'm also glad that anyone like listening to this while trying to escape from family on Thanksgiving, number one, fuck y'all for not listening the day it comes out. Come on, support us. Give us that first day bump numbers. That's what it's all about. But also, thank you so much for choosing us to be part of your escape. Because if there's one thing our show does, it's cover nice, uplifting news that won't radicalize people as they're around their right wing family to stop listening and pick fights.
Look, we're going to pop the cork on the Colorado Springs shooting so that that's not so that walking into there, you're prepared. You have talking points. We've already done the little argument in your head for you. And now it's up to you to go out there and to get banned from the rest of your family functions.
Yes. That's the thing I think we all need to try and remember is that at least when these like huge national tragedies come up, when one side starts saying now is not the time to politicize this, that's never the good guys on the historical side of things that say that. like they can't, the network that says all trans people want to molest your kids, all gay people are grooming your children, can't then also go, but this is not a political situation when someone ends up shooting up a club. Look, Q, by the way, let's not gloss over that element too. But
Club Q seems to be kind of fine. Like it's got a weird name, but maybe it's just older than the conspiracy theory, which is hard to believe at this point. But
the owners were like, "This is a really problematic boost for us. Like we don't know what to do with this information."
Did they get fucking oh God, when Trump booked that event at the fucking landscaping
Four
place?
Seasons, yeah,
Four Seasons. Did they get Did they get like a boost from this where people just start coming by and just trying to like talk
From
about
the
Q?
name Club Q, by the way, we're not talking about the mass shooting yet. Let's not.
Yeah,
I don't want to conflate those two. Our humor is dark, but not quite that dark yet. We gotta give it a little bit of space here. But yes, I really hope that they did make merch that looks sick as hell, being like Club Q. Uh,
get
I'll,
it? Club Q. Wink, wink, wink.
yeah, it's probably like cute or like cutie or something. It's like might be a play on that,
That's
or
true. That's fair.
that's your cue. But
Oh, it's your Q because of all the theater kids.
yeah, I
Um,
mean, like it. Point is, it could have something. I'm not sure again how like long they've been around for. So, I don't think that it's something they like just picked a random letter of the alphabet. They were
fair,
like,
fair.
this is the first available letter in Colorado Springs that they had. And we've just been working our way down the list.
Jesus. Well, uh, I guess congratulations, or I get not congratulations. Jesus.
Congratulations. You won. Publishers Clearinghouse giant check. This has thoughts and prayers on it.
Oh
It's just
God.
handed out to the families.
A shout out to Rich Fierro, the combat veteran, who beat the dog shit out of the Colorado Springs shooter.
Release the photos. Release the photos of the shooter being absolutely beat to hell, please.
They can't. That's why they want to preserve. They want to preserve some modicum of his dignity for some reason, which is what they always do because we know why.
Yeah.
If you
Which
go find,
note to anyone else, like in the next mass shooting, that's why it's important that you permanently disfigure them when you finally find a way, because they're not going to release the photo until the court situation happens. So,
yep,
you got to just do a little bit of an extra lean on, then so be it. Right.
if you have the money, you can go to the Atrevida Beer Co. Atrevida Beer Co. That is the brewery that Rich Fierro runs. Grab one of their shirts. It says on the front, "Good intentions don't change anything," and on the back it says, "Actions do." Diversity. It's on tap.
Also, just
Hey,
sick as hell logo on the back,
sick as hell
too.
logo. A fucking. This is based coming from the guy that literally jumped onto the gunman. Apparently he when the dude was walking away from him, he ran up to him, grabbed him by the back of his plate carrier, yeeted him on the floor, jumped on top, and just started beating him up. Of course, Lauren Boebert has tweeted about it exactly once and said, "Oh my God, it's so terrible." And Fox News was too busy giving airtime to a trans girl who won a high school cross country race in Seattle. Definitely congratulating
They
her
were
for
promoting
that.
trans voices, Zach. They were allowing Caitlyn Jenner to come on and speak about back in her day. They didn't allow this sort of thing because she's one of the good ones, you
Back in
see.
her day, they didn't allow her to dress like according to the gender that she felt best expressed what was inside of her.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Interesting.
That's right.
Strange how that might happen to
I'm just,
one.
at this point, I'm just saying that people have names, people have addresses. People should try and connect dots to things because,
They
like,
did. The FBI had Homeboy on a list for a bomb threat.
oh, well, what if I were to tell you that maybe we should be the ones with access to certain people's names and addresses that we could find, I don't know, via like county property records that you could probably look up and see if you search by homeowner name. I'm just spitballing crazy ideas out there. Like maybe there's a couple of I don't know, like DFW or Houston area pastors that are going to be doing a god awful sermon talking about how this got politicized. Maybe, just maybe, something like that's going to come up. No.
God lets violence happen to those who are not in his house.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Because if there's one thing we know in Texas, it's that there has not been a mass shooting that happened in a church in over 3 years. Yep.
God, it's so bad here.
Uh,
Also really bad in Colorado because Colorado Springs is home to Focus on the Family, one of those fun, quirky organizations that we'll hit on later when we're talking about being homeschooled in Texas.
true Thanksgiving topics. Love to think about that. Hey everyone, it's Kelton. With Thanksgiving just around the corner, I just wanted to give thanks to all of our patrons for their continued support of the show. Y'all help keep the lights on, the logos made, and let us know that we're actually doing something right. So I would like to extend a big turkey jerky thank you to Scott, Tim, Jorge, Frater LVD, Rufus, Not a Mole Rat, Eli, Melwin, Olive Lotion Wizard, Alex, Lizzie, Broobs, ASM Marxist, Phil, Dylan, Kira, Cody, Comrade Kometka, Nicole, Pizza Paws, Drew, CJ, Philip, and the Humidifier. And if you, dear listener, want to give us a couple bucks and listen to an extra bonus episode every week, head on over to patreon.com/Psychic Dolphin Garage. Thanks. Now back to the show.
Let's do this. Welcome to the jungle of the internet, where things are bad all the time, and even adults barely know what's going on, and the elder definitely have no idea what's going on.
Oh, they have some idea of what's going on. They're just, brain poisoned by all of the lead that we had. So
that they
can't
had to
wait.
eat from the
Yeah.
hoses as they were growing up. Yes, yes.
Yeah. That's what we did. The only thing
Clearly,
worse than them are the Gen Xers that are becoming boomer posting.
mhm,
They're like,
mhm.
back in my day, we didn't give a fuck. We just ran around outside and played on our Ataris, and no one cared. It's just like, it's a weird Americana
No one
nostalgia.
cared about me. This sounds like a cry for help. It's not. I'm a big, strong man. Okay.
And I have strong opinions about what children's cartoons should be like today. That's how it works
Interesting.
for me.
Interesting. They have, and you can tell that the boomers are starting to lose their grip because Facebook has finally realized that they can make teens' accounts more private by default.
Youth pastors everywhere just weeping, crying.
Facebook will enable more private settings by default for anyone under the age of 16 who signs up for the platform. And for teens who already have accounts, Facebook will display a prompt encouraging them to use those settings, as well as a toggle that turns them on in a single tap.
You know what? I'm just going to say it. Facebook, you should make that the default and make everyone opt out of that.
Facebook, you're telling me you could have done this the whole time?
Make it 17. Why are we putting 16 in here?
Facebook, you're telling me that this was an option?
You're also saying that anyone could have it? Like that would be nice.
Facebook could have done this since February of 2004.
Yeah, exactly.
Facebook is legal this year, and they're just now thinking about those who are still underage.
Well, I mean, they just turned legal, so they're losing their conservative base. No correlation there can be found, I'm sure.
Libertarians are moving to a younger.
Matt Walsh is talking about the dried up eggs that Facebook has.
But don't worry, that's not the only gem stuck in this article from The Verge. Facebook is also trying to do more to protect teens from predatory adults. Good.
Yeah.
So
far, so good.
It's testing a way to prevent teens from messaging adults on the platform that have been recently blocked or reported by a young person.
Oh,
okay. That's
so
good.
what, there's going to be all of these lists, huh? That just because an adult is messaging children, that's suddenly suspicious.
Facebook won't display these quote unquote suspicious adults in teens' people you may know recommendations either, and will start prompting teens to report the accounts that they block as well. Meanwhile, on Instagram, the company's testing removing the message button on teens' accounts completely when they're viewed by a quote unquote suspicious adult. Again,
youth pastors everywhere on suicide watch.
You're telling me we could have had this the whole time? Hang on a second. You're telling me that we could just look at individuals' behaviors on social media platforms and use that to determine when they're acting in a predatory manner?
And you can throttle it. Like, you can be proactive about it in a way that would...
My God, it hurts me how simple it is. It hurts me how simple it is.
And you're a publicly traded company. You could have done this at any time to get the stock boost, but you chose to do it now when Meta is crashing and burning. And you're like,
to be fair, Twitter's also crashing and burning, so they do need a boost.
Yeah, Facebook is really trying to go for Twitter's throat right now. Watch Facebook try that. Like they create like Facebook LTE or something where it's just like the original Facebook where it is you have to text it from your phone.
Oh my God, don't remind me of that. That was terrifying. What a shitty API that had to have been.
Oh god, all
Getting
entirely
text message
chronological
notifications
timeline.
because we didn't have phones that had apps. We had like the weird, you had the weird like rectangular screen phone that had no games.
No, no, there was like Snake or something,
Mm-hmm.
probably, right? A bowling game.
Probably Snake. Oh God, a bowl. I forgot the bowling game.
Yeah. Uh,
Oh,
uh, mm, tasty memories across the board.
thank you, Facebook, for making teens safer. Finally, after decades of us wondering how the fuck you're gonna moderate your content.
Yeah. Yeah. It also is going to be interesting to see which family members are not allowed to message people anymore. Huh? Just saying. Maybe there's
Look,
a reason why Uncle John can't hit up your kid's Instagram account.
look. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. This is more fodder for the Thanksgiving table. The
Send me a
battleground out there.
message. Do it right now. Why can't you? Do it. Even
Well,
better, send a message to my friend, the one that's in my biology class.
oh
Yeah,
no.
try and send it to her. Your 3 a.m. vacation liked image is telling on yourself, sir.
If you like an image from too far back, then you're just automatically flagged.
Yeah, just add it to the list.
Crying. I do that
Yeah.
shit on purpose.
Oh yeah, it's a power move.
It's a power move. Does it work?
After you like, you also share. Just
Retweet. uh,
it's like the people who realize or don't realize that their Twitter likes are public.
oh yeah, true.
That's the thing. Like that's the biggest thing I think people need to be excited about when moving to a new social media platform is that people are gonna fuck up. Like likes are gonna become public or faves or toots or whatever the fuck it's called, and people are gonna find themselves operating left-handed, and I mean all the freaks are gonna come out. It's gonna be great.
It's good to see good changes happening as like social media is being upheaved. But yeah, none of the platforms solve like what is the basic privacy issue
White
of like
supremacy.
of like the fact that all of our data is already tracked by our phones and by large companies.
Oh
So
yeah.
moving to a new social media platform doesn't fix any of that.
I mean, I don't mean to be this guy, but if there became like an Apple social media platform, wouldn't
Like
that
Apple TV, and then you
yeah,
have like your Apple feed.
yeah, Apple feed. And it's just like
And it would
Apple
work like
News and all
so
of that.
I imagine it would be like about as useful as like the Venmo feed.
Yeah, I mean, probably, but then, if you're able to make posts on it, unlike Venmo, because you have to still like use money to make
Hmm.
Venmo posts, but if you could do that, then all of your contacts, you could see all of your contacts
Hmm.
as a feed if you wanted to. Point is, Apple could also then be like, and it's all private because it's all on our stuff and blah 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 blah.
And
Um,
we encrypt it and we protect it. And it works like the Snapchat Snap Map. You can see all your friends are in real time.
so again, I can't wait for a terrorist organization to use it to plan a bombing or something. And then Apple refused to give the data to the FBI.
Which is
Just
based because they literally had to stop encrypting their phones so well because the FBI couldn't break into them.
FBI said, please, please stop, please. You're making us look real bad right now.
Then Apple's like, no, you're making us look real bad, you dicks.
Yeah, you're making us look like we're siding with them when all we're saying is we don't want to give you a backdoor to everyone's everything.
And
So
then they did. Then they gave a backdoor to everyone.
yes, and that's why I can't wait to operate an Android phone where the technology is 3 years ahead of Apple, but the cameras look like something from 2007 MySpace.
Hmm.
I
They're
can't.
selling cameras now, and their marketing for them is they give it a vintage look because it's
The,
basically like
that
a
grease
it's
look.
a
Yeah,
DS Slim camera that's been put in there.
great. I'm so happy for them to be advertising shitty technology as a feature, not a bug.
It's you gotta sell those leftover parts somehow.
Yeah, it's like Google Pixel advertising basic Photoshop software included in it, where you
Hmm.
can, Stalin out family members that you don't like from images.
No,
Which,
that's the female filters on Snapchat where you do that to them, then you post it in the family group chat, and they're really mad about it, but they don't say anything to you.
is it better or worse if you make a hot lady versus if you make an ugly one? Huh?
It's worse if you make a hot lady because that's attractive,
Yeah. How dare you? How dare
and
you?
you're actually a man, and that's gay.
What am I liking myself as a woman? That's the gayest shit possible.
That's me in there. I'm a human being. I have rights, you know.
Yeah, I know how it might look to everyone, but actually, like I am a man on the inside. Be like, uh-huh, yeah, no, but this photo, no, you're a girl and you're gonna stay a girl. No, I'm a man.
You're taking this surprisingly hard for somebody who is really, supposed to be
Basic
confident and macho.
biology says that this is a girl.
Oh my God. You've done it.
Yeah, one face app feature can create a whole wave of gender acceptance, I think, the Thanksgiving table.
Don't worry. This works for your families that are or are not into sports.
Well, I actually have things about if your family is into sports, or I guess even better if they're not. Because the story I want to mention is just, again, content fodder to kind of pass around among people, which is this little known event that's happening. It's called the World Cup. It's happening in Qatar right now, or Qatar, if you want to be overly pretentious.
How's it called the World Cup when it's not happening all over the world?
Well, you see, Zach, the answer is FIFA controls everything, and they got massive bribes from various countries that wanted to become home countries for the World Cup. And they get that honor if they pay FIFA like $200 million. So that it's
Nice. That's all
wonderful.
it takes.
I I'm sure I lowballed it, but that's not even the thing I want to talk about, because the World Cup is happening in this country. Everyone's kind of enjoying it for, one aspect or another. We've gotten over the fact that the entire World Cup stadiums, all of them that got constructed, were built by what is essentially slaves, and that thousands of them died trying to construct these things. Uh, Again, just normal things that are taking place. The FIFA chairman says that he understood how, like, the Middle East is a bit culturally different than the rest of the world, but he's happy to have opened it up. And it's okay if other people feel uncomfortable, because he has felt gay and like a migrant worker because he grew up with red hair and has freckles. You see,
Huh.
that very real thing. But no,
Yeah, he definitely relates to the struggle of gay people.
all of these oppressed things. Well, it's actually kind of like creating a bit of a headway, because teams, like, as part of like their regular uniforms, had like a rainbow theme on one of their jerseys, and they were told,
Yeah.
like, no, you can't have that.
But
Like,
that's just what the jersey looks like.
well, you can't have that. You also can't have any love logos on
Huh.
there.
This
Also,
feels like it's specifically aimed at like a particular minority group.
yeah. Well, what if I were to tell you they're trying to expand out a little bit because they also banned the sale of alcohol at any of their stadiums.
Part
So
of their contract was that they were not going to ban alcohol at the stadiums. Then they just said "fuck you" and banned alcohol.
exactly, that's exactly what they did. And so I think that this would be a fun thing to mention. Be like, isn't it crazy how some countries just have these like arbitrary laws that tell people like how they can and can't live their lives? I'm
Yeah, like
so
what if you were
glad.
banned from, what if they banned you from drinking alcohol like on certain days of the week?
Yeah, or certain times, huh? If I if I want to take 3 shots of whiskey right outside a liquor store, it should be my God given right to do that.
If I want to crack a bottle while driving 70 miles an hour down the highway, I should be able to.
Yeah, no seatbelt on,
Of course not. What do we live in? Germany?
communist Russia.
Communist
Um,
Russia?
but another thing, by the way, in the World Cup that created a lot of controversy was unless athletes were married, they had to sleep in single beds. Like the village area where all the athletes are,
Yeah.
um, no one's allowed to have sex in there. Like no one's allowed to like visit each other, which when you are some of the best athletes in the world and you have your own entourages and stuff, it's very weird to suddenly have these puritanical rules thrown at you more or less last minute.
Entourage is an interesting word to use there.
I mean, like soccer players are some of the most popular, highest paid people in the world. So,
Are you
like,
telling me that they ship their prostitutes in?
well, see, I was just thinking that maybe there might be like I don't know, an army of Icelandic women who want to suck some Spaniard's dick. And
Fair.
the World Cup is the best chance to do that because you could do it while existing in a sky rise 4.5 miles above the circumference of the earth. So,
That's
may,
true. And doesn't it go on for like 6 weeks too? So like,
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
a marathon. Like,
yeah.
people are gonna be hitting their ovulation windows possibly twice during this event. So
It looks
uh,
like it's 10 weeks actually. I'm sorry.
oh, even better. All right, so think about it. You could get knocked up at the World Cup, you could come home, and then you could be forced to carry that baby all the way to full term. Isn't that nice, Zach? Isn't that a great?
I'm really excited to go exercise my rights in a country that just supports me doing that and only that and does not wish to control any of my actions in any uh overbearing way.
It just feels like such a bad PR move on their part.
It's
Because
it's not a bad PR move. Like if you look on Twitter, there like a shitload of the comments are like, well, actually, Qatar is allowed to have its own rules and laws. The US doesn't control everybody. Why should we allow these people to force their
because
way of life onto us? And it
they
echoes
signed a contract
perfectly.
saying like one way is how things would operate and then they changed it up. The issue is not an issue of morality, it's contract litigation at this point.
Look,
Like,
do you think FIFA has a standing army?
I would say no, but then again they are in a country that has a whole bunch of like slaves, so they could very well have an army now.
Look, if FIFA has the army to get that money out of the Qataris, then they're more than welcome to try. But in the meantime, the US will still continue to be their dog.
Yeah, the US famously always trying to bid for we the US team sucks so bad. It is we tied with Wales.
Our soccer team is
With
so bad that they aren't
Wales,
even scared of
Zach.
our military anymore.
That's honestly it. Like us losing in the World Cup probably does better PR for us as a country. Makes us seem like relatable. Like, oh, look at that those plucky underdogs, the United States, that country of 330 something million people. Meanwhile, they got beat, or I'm sorry, they tied with Wales, aka that place that's a quarter of a country that is the size of Texas.
Yeah, they've sent their 12 best men out of the 24 that they had.
Wales population 3.13 million. We
Literally
outnumber them.
1%.
Yeah, we outnumber them 100 to 1, and we couldn't just beat them. This is an absolute embarrassment for us. So it's fine. It's fine. That's World Cup news.
Is the World
So
Cup like it's like your Olympic players, or is it like drafted from like your best like soccer players?
yes, like
Okay.
to both, because like it's not related to the Olympic soccer that happens, but it goes by country of origin. So it
Yeah, because
happens like
like
the Olympics in the sense that it's once every 4 years, but uh like this is it's done by FIFA, not FIBA.
yeah, because I could see it being like soccer is a team sport. Oh God, I'm about to veer into sports. I should hold off on that. We're moving right along. Rainbow capitalism can only exist in America, and that's what makes America great.
Yeah,
And the only thing that could exist in Texas that's worse than our public schools is our headline story here from, of course, the Texas Tribune. Thank you, Texas Tribune, for giving us your tribute this week. The Texans who are turning to homeschooling after the pandemic showed them what learning outside of schools could be like.
that's right. Sometimes it takes a good guy with a homeschool family to stop a bad guy with a public school family.
And we're the good guys with homeschool families,
That's
and our storied history, our rigorous experience at being homeschooled has informed us on this issue, and we're going to present it today and make the case for why you should or should not homeschool your children.
yes, exactly. It's
I'm
something
I'm
of
now going to
where
cry for the next 13 minutes, and then at the end of it, you can tell me whether or not you think homeschooling is good or bad.
good. It's good. I'm just gonna come out right at the beginning and say it's good. Are you a parent who wants full and total control over their children? Treat them more like appendages instead of like individual beings with their own sense of autonomy. Well, have you considered homeschooling?
Do you wish that your kids turned out to be a combination of Pete Buttigieg and Beto O'Rourke?
Do you look at the tactics implemented by 1980s African warlords and think, yes, that, but in a school setting? That's what I want.
Do you wish your children to get into careers, get 20 years into careers before they finally unlock the memories of being homeschooled and realize that everything that they've done with their lives has been a lie for the last 20 years?
Have you considered the possibility of having your child be in a dating pool that is arguably at an incestuous level, not before it's seen other than 1930s Nebraskan agrarian towns? Boy,
They have about as much chance as a Quaker does at landing on the wrong one, is all we're gonna say. I've made some excerpts and I've highlighted the important parts of this, so I'm gonna dive us into the article.
okay.
And I think unfortunately there is a pretty honest case in here about how terrible the Texas public education system is and why I don't know if you are a good parent and you're not in it to control your children's lives, you can really benefit them in some spectacular ways.
That's why we need to approve school choice, right, Zach?
Oh,
We
baby. This school year's class sizes have gotten bigger amid a statewide teacher shortage,
bigger and better
exacerbated
in
by the
Texas.
pandemic.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Uh, there's suspicion that among parents that their public school district is not meeting their kids' needs. Many of them are
Shocking.
pulling their kids out and have started homeschooling them
Why are these schools not addressing their needs, Zach? Why is that?
because there's a teacher shortage.
Why is there a teacher shortage though? Is it because
I
no one wants to work anymore?
Could be because schools are already crunching budgets. It could be because
What?
there are no
But
teachers that
these
want to continue teaching in terrible conditions.
these fat cat teachers with their $30,000 salaries
You even
not
ask
wanting
you
to
can
work
ask
50 hours a week.
you can ask the moms here. All the moms here like believe that it's bureaucracy. And they're like, look, the school office has like more workers than there are teachers. Why is that? Why do the school offices? Because the what the fuck the state requires you to do when you have every child in the state under your purview for the entire fucking week.
Yeah. When you have, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of kids, possibly in some school districts, or at the very least, tens of thousands, you don't want any oversight. Yeah. Like, let your kid get assaulted at a school, let your kid get like molested by a teacher, and then like start talking about how they need to keep like streamlining budgets to try and make sure that there can be more lone wolves out there.
My
Sure,
kid needs
sure.
to carry a gun. And they can at home. Research suggests that homeschooling was already growing in popularity before the pandemic. But according to the Census Bureau's Household Pulse survey, an effort to examine the impact of COVID-19 on American life, the percentage of Texas families that homeschool their children went up in 2020 from 4.5% at the end of 2019 to 2020 school year to 12% at the start of the 2021,
Holy
2022 to
fuck.
2020 to 2021 school year.
300%. It went up 300%.
The increase was particularly notable among Black families.
Well, I'm sure our circles would have something to say about that fact.
According to data collected by the Texas Homeschool Coalition, a
These
nonprofit,
motherfuckers.
those
We
fucking
know people that work for these
that work
people.
for them now, yes. About 30,000 students across the state withdrew from a public or charter school and switched to homeschooling during the spring of 2021, an increase of 40% compared with the previous year.
I would love to see what the percentages was when looking at charter versus public school,
Yep.
because I'm willing to bet it's probably about the same. But charter schools cost so much more than public schools, and I wonder if it has the same overall rejection rate. If maybe, just maybe.
The figure is likely higher because the state does not track withdrawals from public schools below the seventh grade.
Oh, it's definitely higher than,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
because
Well, because everybody during the pandemic was like, wait, we have to do what? And then they got really used to online classes, just like we got really used to working from home.
yeah, no, I can't go back into an office full time. No,
Yep.
I can't.
Peggy
I,
Simonson, an associate professor at UT Arlington, uh, said the increase could be attributed to a number of factors. Some families were worried about the spread of COVID-19 at schools. Good.
okay.
Others who had been thinking about homeschooling finally took the step after remote learning gave them a glimpse of what teaching their kids at home could look like. That's
Yeah.
cool.
No, yeah, okay.
The Uvalde school shooting on May 24th
God, there it is.
might have led some parents to switch to homeschooling this year. Uh, and
Valid reasons, like if a parent is saying, I don't want my kids to catch COVID or get shot, you
it seems
know.
valid. Also, differences over how race and sex are taught at schools also played a role.
Okay, well there's the other foot that dropped.
Oh, but maybe they're mad that the Texas legislature does not want to teach critical race theory or teach,
Zach,
kids about.
Zach, Zach, name one homeschool family you grew up with that would be mad that they're not teaching critical race
But the
theory.
associate professor says that the sentiment is coming from both sides of the
That's
political
from the woke
spectrum.
liberal professor, Zach. We
Uh,
know they lie.
yes. Now, here's the truth. Traditionally, parents have homeschooled their children to give them a religious education.
There we go.
Oh God, no, it's 100% like the school isn't teaching my kids enough. I don't want to pay to send my kids to school, or I don't feel like I'm sufficiently brainwashing them.
Also, not for
I went
nothing.
and found books on like climate change all on my own, and that was about the last that my father ever actually talked to me about school.
Well, also legitimately, I mean, I know they've become increasingly more popular, but like there are co-op formats that are basically like schools that meet up like twice a week or so, where people can kind of pool together resources to cover reading, writing, arithmetic, almost
Yep.
like smaller communities that get together to educate their children. If only there was a system where they could do that. That would it would revolutionize things.
If only there was a system where they could do that, where the state wouldn't interfere with its operations, and like, and like, and like there was not like expectation of like any sort of operational. Hang on, let me scroll down a little bit. Um, Efficiency. There we go. Anyways, uh, shifts in recent years has been growing concerns with bullying, drugs, and poor academic achievement, and for people of color, fears their children will face racism at school.
Yeah, yeah.
One mother said the decision to homeschool meant she could make sure her kids are safe and that she can talk to them about topics like sex and politics before a stranger does.
That could honestly go either way.
Yeah, this one's really either way. All families are going to have their own take on those things and the way you want to discuss those things with your kids. Homeschool setting, they don't have to learn things from a friend at school. They can hear it firsthand from us.
All right. Well, that's leaning more on the
Definitely
right
wanted
wing
to
side.
talk with my mother about my sex life when I was 14 years old and the thoughts that I
Imagine,
was having.
imagine your mom trying to explain the gender spectrum.
It
Like,
was horrifying. She bought book. I told her she had to do it with my younger siblings, and she almost cried.
what?
And she went and bought like these weird books to explain like
Okay,
your body changes as you're growing up, and she just gave them to them.
let's talk. Let's talk about this. This is a good like side tangent, that we can get on here.
Okay.
How did you get the talk?
I didn't.
Oh no, not at all. Like you
Not
didn't
at all.
have. Okay,
No
you,
talk.
what sex talks then have you had with your parents, if any?
You've met my mother.
I know. I've also met your father. So like
Yeah, none.
none whatsoever. Okay.
None.
Okay. I mean that it's surprising.
Like no discussion of anything.
I mean,
Like maybe now I've discussed some of it, but
tongue
I
technique with a
no,
just try.
no, like no, nothing at all. Not a thing.
Okay.
Just like it's been brought up.
Got it. Got it. Because I was gonna say I was I think in like fourth grade, fifth grade, when my dad wanted to talk to me about like the general basics of it. And I was like, yeah, it was stereotypical dad taking son on camping trip kind of thing, where I'm like, all right, this is a lot to process, I suppose, but
I'm gonna go crawl into my sleeping bag now.
yeah, this is, and this is weirdly how you also drew the comparison to what was going on. So I don't like me crawling into a sleeping bag. It feels bad. Everything feels bad and like innuendo, you know.
It's
But
gross because you're my dad, but I guess someone had to do it. Yeah,
yeah.
no, I was fully like internet educated.
Okay, well that's better because I mean my part two of that education was about being like what were they called? Like say not promise keepers. It was like the saving yourself for
Yeah,
marriage
the
type.
Promise Keepers. I remember
Was it
Promise
promise
Keepers.
keepers? Okay,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure, yeah.
It
That's like,
was like
yeah,
a focus on the family style
it
thing
was
of being
circling it
like,
back to Colorado Springs.
yeah, yeah. And I listen, for an organization that's telling people not to shoot anything off at anyone at any time, because that's what focus on the family is encouraging. It was only a matter of time before some fucking psychopath flipped out from that region.
True,
I
true.
mean, like I what they were
Colorado
telling
in
you,
general.
yeah, yeah. I mean, Colorado has the benefit of being like, but we're cool and we have weed and we go hiking.
It's
But it's
like
like,
Austin, they've been overtaken now.
yep, yep. Like, so it's like, oh, you live in Colorado? Where are you from? Like just ask that question
Very
instead.
much so. Yes,
Um,
yes.
but
Uh,
these focus on the family types though, like, in the experience of
all of the different curriculum that you have that you can get, all the different like things that we were exposed to were honestly done by like three large corporations who make billions of dollars off of pushing evangelical right-wing bullshit.
Yes, Becca.
Yeah. Sunlight Christian homeschooling curriculum.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I remember there's some like Latin style thing.
It's something press.
Yeah, Veritas Press.
Veritas Press.
Yeah, Project Veritas Press.
Oh no. Veritas Press classical Christian education.
Yep, yep.
They're all about the classical education method, which
Mhm.
is supposed to be like some bullshit about like Socrates and like the way that they structure. I don't fucking
It's how our founding fathers were educated.
our parents fell for these like oh there's different types of education the way that they would fall for a fucking MLM.
Yeah, I was gonna say the way our generation falls for there being different love languages, but maybe that's
Yeah.
me. That's me calling some people out. No, no, it's so people
Look,
shouldn't express love in all five ways. Not at all. No, no, only in the way that's special to you or special to them. That's right. That's
exactly. Exactly. Only
that's how that.
one.
There's only one way to show affection. Oh
The
God.
one thing that was written by a neurodivergent that didn't understand. The pandemic forced families to spend more time at home and showed them that they can educate their children without being tied to a brick and mortar school. We're moving into an era now where people are just going to demand that there are more hybrid forms of education. Superintendent Brian Woods of the Northside Independent School District in San Antonio. When a student leaves a public school, whether to homeschool, go to a private school, or leave the state, the district stops receiving money for that student, though its
Mm-hmm.
operational costs remain the same.
Yeah.
School districts have looked at ways to retain families, offering dual language programs, enrollment in Montessori schools,
Fuck.
again with the teaching methodology bullshit. Uh, but he leaves it off by saying that parents are allowed to educate their children whatever way they feel is best, but the Texas legislature needs to make sure schools receive the appropriate funding to serve the families that stay with them.
Let me tell you about what happened to me at a Montessori school, Zach. Let me regale you with a story of good
Look,
old young Kelton.
look, we've talked enough times, I feel like, about how shit funding is in Texas. I don't feel like the problem is that people are leaving your
They put
school.
me in a refrigerator box, Zach.
They put you in a refrigerator box.
Now you want to know the story.
Look, let me get to this quote. This quote is
Oh, you're
not
putting me in the proverbial
I'm
refrigerator
putting you in
box
the
now.
refrigerator box.
Okay,
The
okay.
quote is not I don't know, we need to do massive reform about the way that Texas funds its public schools to make sure that children are getting the best education possible. This fucking superintendent says you're creating massive inefficiencies in the system because you've got empty seats.
Yes, that's the concern that we all have.
Expenses are not going down as students move here and there.
Uh-huh. That's again, we should be
Montessori schools, it doesn't matter what fucking methodology they teach you. They put you in a refrigerator box and you had the best day of your life because you didn't have to do school.
oh no, no, it's because I was distracting other kids, so they
They lock you
had
up.
me sit at my desk and then they put the refrigerator box around me with
Oh
a
my
little like cutout
God.
so that way then I could see the teacher. But then yeah, no, I mean, like there's a lot to probably unpack there with what that did to me psychologically, since that was how I did some educating. But the
What was
most
this in
important thing,
Texas?
it was when I was in
Wow.
Texas. Yeah.
That's the so the refrigerator box is actually an SCP that teleports you directly to the Texas, the Huntsville penitentiary.
Yeah, it was crazy. They called me Bone Dog there.
Jesus Christ. Yeah,
Well, I mean,
that's
like that wasn't even the worst thing though. It's because like they had that setup, but it was supposed to be like, oh, but we're more in touch with kids' feelings. Yeah, obviously not, but still, like we're more in touch with their feelings. But then, like, obviously, when I got transferred, basically, I went to then a Christian school after that. Like over that summer, I found out like I was a year behind in math, and
oh my
I'd only been
God.
doing math for like a year and a half. So like,
Well,
so I spent my whole summer cramming math, which is just like again, there's a reason why there's like tests and there's a teaching program and stuff, and not like the
No, don't
herky
worry.
jerky.
Don't worry about that. Opting to homeschool in Texas is fairly simple and mostly unregulated.
That
The only requirement is that your learning must be in a visual format and that the curriculum must go over reading, spelling, grammar, math, and what the state calls good citizenship.
there we go. There it is. And what makes a good citizen in the eyes of our
Jamie Johnson in League City, southeast of Houston, says she started homeschooling four of her kids this school year for religious reasons and to provide them with a better academic setting.
uh-huh. I'm waiting. I'm
She felt
waiting.
politics and social issues were playing an oversized role in classrooms, which was distracting to her kids.
Politics and social issues. What?
Things like using people's correct pronouns and discussing LGBTQ themes went against their family's beliefs.
But they're not racist, right? They're not. They
Not out of a place of judgment for sure. Just it shouldn't be in school. Just like no one needs to be talking about their sex or their dating.
uh-huh. Because again,
Nobody should talk about sex or dating, is what
these
I'm
young
hearing.
minds that
Nobody should talk about sex or dating. Just like nobody talked to me about sex or dating. Trust me, bro.
it worked out just fine.
I'm normal.
Trust me, to be around the children, I am fine and well adjusted.
On the other side of the coin, the Junial family, have a 15-year-old son who has become the youngest student to graduate from Sam Houston State University in Huntsville.
Oh, I mean that's cool, but also, oh man, that poor kid.
Yeah, yeah. He's definitely burnt out now. It's over for him. But ever
You
since
can't
their
even
son's story
drive
came out,
or
they have
vote.
received calls from families of color asking how they could start homeschooling. Calls are usually from parents who've been thinking about homeschooling since the pandemic or who think their children are not getting the attention they need from public schools. The juniors tell parents they don't need to be experts or have a college education to homeschool, but they must have the dedication and willingness to craft a curriculum that fits their children's needs.
And also the budget for it. Let's not. That's like the
Let's be honest.
tangible.
You have to buy all the books yourself. You have to go to the homeschool stores, and all of them are run by weirdo Christians because that's who started the homeschooling trend.
Yep.
And it's now being like
It's like health food stores in the
reverse.
90s.
It's like
Yeah.
reverse, like they white flighted to homeschooling, but then now people are moving out because they're like, oh wow, look at that. Homeschooling like actually has resources. The article also mentions that like there are several organizations that support homeschoolers in Texas, and their calls have gone up like like 200%.
Yeah, it's almost like we have a statewide system that's failing, but instead of giving like more resources to the system,
Or instead
to
of the superintendent talking about children like they're human beings with needs and like with futures, it's like, oh, there's actually inefficiencies because people aren't occupying seats anymore. It's like, what the fuck is wrong
we
with
need
you?
the chattel to sit in the seats so we can get more reward points with the state.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's almost like maybe like the population of an area should dictate what the resources are for the school. Point
Yeah,
blank,
and
not
and not
property taxes, not what the attendance rate is.
I almost like the one child like one voucher kind of situation.
Yeah. Yeah. The one child, one voucher policy of communist China that you want to implement.
That would be awesome. That's basically what Betsy DeVos was proposing. Um but it would have sucked because the goal of that voucher stuff is to like get rich kids into private schools and then just let public schools flail and fail.
Yeah, that's always been the goal though. Like we are at
Yeah, Texas has made it so easy to homeschool because they don't want to run a public school system.
yeah, they want to abolish the Department of Education. Like they they want there to be, I mean, similar to what exists like in some countries, but like where there is like a ruling class, and then there is a working class, and then there is like a service class,
Yeah,
like
and
where.
we've gotten to the point where you can get most of your education online. I mean,
But you have
it
to be
sucks
instilled
to
with those skills like at the very beginning, though.
oh, you have to learn all of the like basics. Like I was looking at I argue against like testing as a like pass fail thing because I
Uh-huh.
think that if a teacher should be able to test you, but a teacher should also give you as much knowledge as they can. And in middle schools, you as you get older, you just move up with your class, and your class goes to like all the same classes basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes, if it works that way, then it would make no sense to hold you back for a year. It would make more sense for a teacher to do the best that they can, and then the next teacher to also do testing and like figure out what each student's needs are,
It's
as
a little
opposed to
hard to
just
do
doing
though
like a
when there's
pass
like
fail.
40 kids per class.
Exactly. That is the issue. That is the issue. And also in high school, you can like mix and match classes. So
Mm-hmm.
you only really need like 3 years of math in high school, I think.
Plus, you know, you're gonna go pro anyway. So like why do you even need to learn English? Like,
I
like
mean, I understand that there's like a lot of math to learn. I think after algebra 2, you should be done. There's a lot of history and like English stuff to learn, but also like if you're going to learn in English class, it would also really suit itself well to put you in like a coding class because coding is highly regimented, well formatted English.
yeah, learn to code,
And
huh?
you
You
just,
jock.
I mean, coding and like, what's the difference between formatting for code, like formatting a file for code and like doing English grammar?
I mean, coders rarely write erotica involving two teenagers that end up
You would,
killing themselves because they can't hook up.
you'd be
That's like
surprised.
one of the most oh yeah, is that the I'm just
Fanfic
now
has never
imagining
been
cyberpunk William Shakespeare.
fanfic
Like
has never been bigger, Kelton. No, people do that shit all the time, and like schools are not only a place to learn like those specific skills, but they're also ways to learn like all the soft neurotypical skills, like I don't know, interacting with people in social settings and
learning
having
how
and
to be a
maintaining
better
friend
bully.
groups.
Just
That's a class that we have in
learn
Texas,
how to
okay?
manipulate someone into getting what you want from them.
There
Exploit
we
them.
go. That's
Yeah.
how public schools work, okay? They're just tiny little Stanford prison experiments.
Honestly, that's yeah, 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 yeah. That's can't let the inmates run the prison, says the superintendent later in the
Says the
interview.
superintendent literally in the article for the Texas Tribune without thinking about what the fuck he's saying. It's all about expenses. Fucking Excel spreadsheet fucking nerd. Learned one thing in school. It was how to run a goddamn spreadsheet and hasn't learned anything since then.
Yeah, yeah. His job is clearly to just balance the budget, and as long as that's the case,
All the kids
then
should be bullying that guy.
yeah, calling him a nerd.
Yeah, just throwing gum at his office window every time they walk past.
Do you think kids like bully adults not by calling them gay anymore, but by asking if they are gay, but like in a real earnest way that like makes you get
Absolutely.
madder? Be like, oh, thanks, Mr. Johnson. Like, you know, you can come out to me, right? Like, this is a safe place for you, you know, if you're gay.
Absolutely it is. Holy shit.
I'm not gay. I keep telling you, it's fine. I understand. I won't tell anyone. I won't out you. But if you are
I just want
gay,
to know. God. Yeah, children have a way with words. They're really good at cutting you deeper than you thought you were still capable of being cut.
they are.
So, and
Uh,
that's why we want children all over to be leaving us reviews on our podcast to tell us how shitty we sound.
that's right. That's what we need.
Hand your child the review page and tell them to go to town.
Just gibberish. As long as it's 5-star gibberish, we'll
As
take
long
it.
as it's 5 stars, then we'll take it. They can say whatever mean things they got to.
Product of the Texas public education system, just a litany of errors. Every other word is misspelled across the board. But as long as it says 5 stars, Indeed. Please
Mm-hmm.
give it to us. You can also leave us a voicemail at 512-402-2089 or send us a question to our Gmail, which is psychicdolphingarage@gmail.com.
Let's go.
Let's go. And what more? I mean, we're a little, I think, beaten down from like the holiday marathon of everything else. So, everyone, just please stay sane, stay safe. We will be back in action next week.
Hell
Deuces.
yeah. Hugs and kisses. Bye.
Amarillo by morning, up from San